Canadian wine lovers, we are live. Happy New Year. Why do we have a knife and a skate? Because stay tuned after we start announcing our top Canadian wines of the year. You're going to get to witness me opening a bottle of Canadian bubbly with a skate.
Because
I am no pro. Carl is the pro. Carl has done this
because
before.
I just saber a bottle of Nova Scotia 94 points with the blade. Mira put me to the challenge, and now she has to open one with the skate. So I guess if she does it with the skates, I'm gonna do it with the spoon.
Woo! There we go. Well, cheers. Happy New Year. If you're tuning in with us tonight, put some things in the chat. I am going to do a grand prize draw at the very end for a VIP unlimited membership, which is a $225 value. We'll chat a bit more about what that all entails later. But do leave a comment. Everyone that comments will have a chance to win. Guess what? It is New Year's Eve. And we tasted well over 2,000 Canadian wines this last year. Is that right, Carl Boucher?
So yes, it was our busiest year since the inception of the club in 2020. We tasted the most wine this year, and holy heck, this is the grand night of the year. The reveal of our top 10, top 3 value, 5 honorable mention, our new this year, our top 3 moments of the year. And I'm so excited to share my to our top discovery of the year, because there were so many incredible moments, incredible people, and incredible wine that we've tasted. So yeah, you ready?
Yes. And I think it's really interesting because we tasted the most Canadian wines this last year, but we also had the most amount of highly rated wines this last year. And I think that's A, we know where to look. B, people are sharing their best stuff with us, which is amazing. C, Canadian wine is just getting more and more world-class every year. Special releases are coming that have been cellared a little bit and things like that. So it's been a really great year for Canadian wine.
It's been a banner. It's been a banner year for Canadian wines. And thank you to what's happening with our neighbor in the south. I mean, in the sense which is a disaster for people, becoming an opportunity for others. And let's say for us here in the Canadian wines, especially for the Canadian wine lovers across the country and the wineries on the eastern part of the country, what an incredible growth that these people have seen when the Ontario government with the LCBO decided to remove the entire United States, the US product off the shelf. But the key move that they did, the absolute best move that they did that the BC government didn't do, is to replace all of the US SKUs by Ontario product. And now what was often a second thought for wine lovers were right in the forefront of every shelf at the LCBO, and it resulted in a incredible growth year for Ontario, Niagara, Prince Edward County wineries. While we have discovered so many incredible wines. We have some new wineries in our top 10. We have some repeat wineries. We have some wines that are becoming an absolute banner each and every year, and then some new players. So this is a very exciting year for us to reveal our top 10. And I see here, wow, people are tuning in all of the channel. There's a lot of people. Mira, how about we recap a little bit here? Carl's Wine Club, it's our 5-year anniversary. And maybe heading into our 6 years almost, we've tasted over 6,000 wines since we started. We made 2 of our own wines. We met with over 125 wineries, and and how many amazing people that is. We can't count how many amazing people we've met over the last almost 6 years now. And here we're sitting, revealing our fifth top 10 wine of the year, which is sharing with you our biggest discovery that we've done the whole year. If I start, do you mind me to start with a little bit of explanation on how the criteria, how I do it?
Yes, absolutely. And but before you
Yeah,
do, I want to
before we do
say
that, I would like you
Leslie's
please.
got a 2013 De Silva Merlot, which is amazing. I think we had the 2012, so would love to hear how the 2013 is doing. Johanne is about to open the 13th Street Winery Grand Cuvée Sparkling. Amazing. We love that. And I think Elaine mentioned they're having the 2020 Between the Lines Cabernet Leon with dinner.
There you go. Manum, manum. Yummy, yummy. The Cap Franc.
One more. Taz 2011 Taz Spark Blanc de Blanc.
Well, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Very exciting. Okay, so tell us a little bit about how you chose these wines for your honorable mentions, your top value wines, and the top 10. And let's get right into the countdown. And then we'll take a little break after a few and savor a bottle of bubbly with my skate here. Well, Carl's skate.
Well, yeah, that's okay. This is Coach Skate. I was looking at the Goldie skate. I said, "Wow, might be a little too rigid." So we got mom because I had the easy job of the blade with my Benjamin Bridge. If you stop by for our quick wine Wednesday, I did the Elevage non-vintage from Benjamin Bridge, which was the wine that we serve at the Pan Canadian, the first wine served at the Pan Canadian Masterclass, third edition at Suan Staff in June. So that's what I have. 50% Pinot Noir, 50% Chardonnay, extended period of élevage. So sitting on the lees for an extra 18 months after the regular 3 years. So amazing, complex, beautifully made, non-vintage sparkling wine. So yeah, let's go to a little bit of explanations on how I built the old list like usual. I kept the core, which is the top 10, and the extension of the top 10. Basically, it's my honorable mention. So it's basically the top 15 and the top 3 value wines. Every year I have in mind, I'm like, should I do my top 3 sparkling, my top 3 Chardonnay? And I'm like, no, I can't do that. Let's keep it streamlined. And so one thing that I do, I put only one wine per wineries. So, example, I don't want to have in my top 10 and 500, but mention to my top 15, 5 wine from Thomas Batchelder. It would kind of take away so many spotlights possible for other smaller producer. And the goal in all that, yes, it's to showcase, it's to share with you our best discovery of the year, but we also want to talk about as many people as possible. We want to highlight as many wonderful producers as possible. And if I end up by talking about Thomas Batchelder, Elias Henchuk, and Richard De Silva, I mean, at the end of the day, I think we're taking away a lot of potential, amazing stories, and we really, really want to highlight as many as possible. So first, I think to me that's my most important thing. Only one wine, and I take the highest rated wine. So like, you'll see when we go. If you haven't seen any Thomas Batchelder in the whole thing, and you get it closer to the end at the top, you'll see what's coming up, right? That top value wine, it doesn't mean that it's the lowest price point. To me, it's wines that completely blow my expectation out of the water. Some wines that that can be $30, it can be $18, it can be $20, but it's a score in ratio of the ratio between appreciation, price point, and also like I had these wines with other people and how much people, the general public, appreciate these wines and everything. So you'll see with my top three, I have a very specific case in this year that is very telling. So yeah, basically this is it. It started in January 1st. So every wine tasted in December last year are not part of it. I had to go back because some of the wine that I had originally, or some wines from December last year, like, no, it doesn't work. So, yeah, had to be tasted from January 1st till yesterday, I guess. And wine doesn't have to be a wine that we featured. It can be wine that I tasted at a winery. It can be wine from a winery that, like, from potential future winery, older winery partners. It doesn't have to be part of one of our feature. Also, I try to not go to library wines as much as possible. But more and more, I realize that most of our wineries are trying to accomplish that, to showcase. So I kind of let that go a little bit this year compared to previous year. There's some library wines in my top 10 because I really want to showcase the aging potential and how incredible. But I don't want to have my top 10 filled with uh, with library wines. It's usually kept for sparkling wines, I would say. And for red and white wine, I would try to stay 5 years around the release. Okay, so, and I will explain a little bit more while we come to. So it's mostly recent wine or newly released wines because it's too easy to go to libraries and do some library tasting and fall in love with older wine. So yeah, Mira, do you have any question before we start?
No, that's all really great stuff. It's so good to see everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. You want to
But
start with
before we do that, I would like to as also highlight what we have in our glass. So today, our pour are obviously the Elevage from Benjamin Bridge, the bottle that we just saber in the previous show. We have the 2021 Sanchuk Vineyard from Leaning Post Chardonnay, 94 plus point. And Mira, you have the bottle of red right next to you if you want to show people what
It's delicious. I just tasted that. That's so good. It's the
this
Equipoise.
is. Tightrope Equipoise red blend. So
Mhm.
that might be these last two wines might be in our top 10. Who knows? Who knows?
Might
Who
be,
knows?
might be.
Might be. Do you have any question for me before I get started?
I think that's fabulous, and I think you should get started.
Every price that I will mention are including tax, okay? Doesn't matter from where they're from, it's including tax, the price charged at the tilt or the price charged on checkout. Okay? So let's get started. Oh, but do we want to repeat just to remind people? Last year, top three, the 2024 top three was the non-vintage D'Angelo Dolce Vita Rosso Tempranillo, a fortified wine, 7 years in barrel, from our friend Sal D'Angelo on the Naramata bench, 95 points. There was also the 2019 Nobreza from Da Silva, Richard Da Silva, which was his top premium blend, red blend Meritage from also the Naramata bench. And our wine of the year last year was Leaning Post Clone 548 Chardonnay, a single vineyard Lincoln Lake Shore appellation from our friend Ilya Senchuk. It was our top Chardonnay of our most epic varietal marathon that we've ever done, from 112 Chardonnays we've done last year. So that was our top wine of the year. And I've
Yeah.
heard yesterday one of our member had one bottle open yesterday, and apparently they really, really enjoyed it. So yeah. Okay, so that was a little recap from last year, and let's get started on our top three value wine this year. So one thing that I mention almost every year, it's much easier to find value wines in Ontario, especially in Niagara, than it is here in British Columbia, and
And in a
especially in
nutshell,
the
they have
Okanagan.
they have much bigger parcels of land. The price of land is less, and the land is flatter, so they can do machine harvesting, stuff like that, so less labor costs. So and often bigger wineries that maybe are more established, they're not like paying off the value of that land in the last 5 or 10 years. So yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell, but that's what we found. Ooh, 2019 Cab Franc ice wine from Ice Cellars. Elaine and Ralph. That is getting fancy,
Homage at
fancy for
Adnan
dessert.
Isel. I love it. I love it. I
Um,
love it.
I will never remember those names. Can you put them in the chat? We are going to publish this on our blog a little bit later tonight, and we're going to send an email to all members. If you don't know, you guys, it is free to join Carl's Wine Club. You just go to carlswineclub.com or hit subscribe, hit follow, and we keep sharing amazing Canadian wine discoveries. This is what we do. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it, right?
What an incredible flintiness on that wine. Holy smokes.
Woohoo!
Oh.
I wish I had a drum roll. I may be able to find one, but let's do number 3 on your top 3 value wines. Shall we start with that?
Yeah. So my top, so my number 3, it's exactly what I was explaining a little earlier. It's a $30 wine, almost $35 wine, but that 2022 Clos du Soleil Celestial has been such a crowd pleaser everywhere I took that wine that it just tells me that always, always over deliver the expectation for people. And from such a small producer in the Similkameen Valley, where everything is so expensive to produce, that $35 including tax, 91 points, Carl's Wine Club. This wine always, always, always a hit, no matter where we go. It was a big talk at our Pan-Canadian reception hosted at Bellaterra in June. We had, I think, 16 wines from all over the country that evening, and Celestial was the talk of the night. And that told me that day that, yes, this wine has such a heck of a potential. And every time I took that to a hockey tournament as well with a bunch of hockey parents recently, and among 12 wine that I had, everyone was talking about Celestial. So that's my number 3 value from Clos du Soleil at $35. It's my number 3. My number 2 value wine is the gold medal 2020 Tawes Cab Merlot. Almost a 50-50 Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot, a $22 wine, 92 plus points. When we talk about a wine that over deliver and blind taste, I would have given that wine a $30. Hands down, the great richness. I mean, the 2020 vintage come out so beautifully in that wine. I mean, how can they produce a wine at that quality at that price point? Boggles my mind. And I mean, yeah, the 2020 is probably one of the last 2020 that we've tasted this year at that price point. Some wineries are holding on their big guns. We see a few, but at the entry level price point that we had the chance to taste and feature, this wine was on feature this year. Really, really impressed with Tawes Cab Merlot 2020, which also won gold medal. So it tells you that I was not the only one to be very, very impressed with that wine. Now, my very top value wine of the year is from our friend at Vineland Estate. And yes, again this year, Vineland takes the top spot of value wine. And it is dum, ba-da-dum, bum, 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 bum. It's the Saint Urbain Riesling, Elevation Riesling, the
Such great
2020.
value.
Oh my God. And like Brian Schmidt was mentioning to us, this wine just flew off the shelf this year. We had the privilege to sit with him and to go taste side by side the 23 alongside the 2016, I believe, just to see the evolution of that very parcel of land. And it was so fascinating to taste these two wines along like side by side with him, and followed by an incredible moment at the Mission Vineyard. But this 2023 single vineyard Riesling for 22.95, including tax, 93 points. Carl's Wine Club. Texture, slight sweetness, bright acidity. From one of the oldest parcel of Riesling in Niagara. I mean, this is an absolute diamond for the price. So that is, and I mean, from the moment that I tasted that wine in the spring, I knew it was going to be in my top three. And not only it's my top three, but it's my very, very top value wine of the year. So to Brian Schmidt and his team, congratulations. This wine at that price point, I mean, wow. Tip to the hat. So that's my top three value wine this year.
Fantastic. Yep. Daryl bought a pant load of that Riesling. It's really fantastic. Yes, that Vineland is a Riesling. It is a white wine, and it is fabulous value. They could easily charge double, and they don't yet. So go stack up. This was the 23 vintage. They're already on 24. This one sold out in a flash.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Year in, year out, this is one of your highest rated Rieslings in the country and one of the lowest in price. So amazing value. Shall we do
Incredible
your
value.
honorable mentions and then Sabre with the skate? Because I'm getting a little worried that this bubbly is not chilled enough. Should I Sabre it now?
Sure. Why? How about that? Let's do it.
Should we Sabre it now? Okay, let's Sabre it now. And then I have to tell you guys, we were looking through the pictures from 2025 to find our favorite moments of 2025 as a club. It was our 5th year as Carl's Wine Club, 5 years of exploring Canadian wines together. It was a heck of a year. It felt like 10 years in one. And so it took us like so long to go through the pictures. I'm still finding 2 or 3 more, but stay tuned at the very
end.
end.
Every time we go back and we find we got a different dates and we're like, oh shit, yes, that one too. Like, I mean, it's almost a year in review. It's almost a year in review, not a top 3 moments. Like, okay, Mira.
Okay, so you take this off. Yeah, it's really it's worrying me because if you don't do you have another one?
No, that's enough. That's an $100 bottle. So
no, we must have in the fridge another one. Okay, stay tuned. You get started on your honorable mentions. Number 5 coming in hot. This is an amazing wine.
So I put at number 5 of my honorable mention 2022 Black Market Zoetermeer Merlot from Caledon, BC, 93 points. And I mean, Rob is starting to expand his portfolio in terms of Merlot. And I just love how different terroir expression you can get from this very little hamlet in Caledon. It's so fascinating to be like a kilometer and a half from his home vineyard at the Conviction Ridge in Caledon to the Zoetermeer vineyard. The difference between these two terroir expressions are so dramatically awesomely different. That's why I wanted to highlight this one. Here, the Conviction Ridge Merlot is so structured, and it's so like it needs a lot of time to open up, needs a lot of time to settle down. While the Zotomir was right out of the gate super approachable and super friendly, but oh gosh, that I liked that expression of Merlot. Not as tight, not as deep, not as structured, but a little bit more approachable. And yeah, so I guess that you're taking our son's bottle that he's taking for the party tonight, but it's totally fine. We'll get him another one.
I'm sure we have another one. There was a 2015 Stratus bubbly. Should I do that one instead?
No, thank you.
Okay. So guys, so this is a Field of Dreams blend from Prince Edward County from Trail Estate. It's my backup bottle because this, what Carl says, is $100 bottle of bubbly. It's a 2014 The Bub from Haywire in Summerland, BC. Really good wine. Can't wait to taste that in a minute. But we let it chill. So the first rule with sabering is it's got to be well chilled. Okay. Second rule is you find the seam. This is like my 10th time doing this, guys. I'm not a pro at all. All right. So here we go.
So remember, Mira, the angle is the key, right? But no, well, wait a second. Your bottle is too uptight. Like lean your bottle a little more. Your bottle.
Like this?
Yeah.
Looking for the seam, baby.
Yeah, but don't tip.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stand up. Stand up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just.
My skate's gonna need a good. No, don't hit it. Don't hit it. You need to slide it. Okay.
You think it's under enough pressure? Is it that it's just?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the same amount of pressure. I don't need a new sharpening. I need a new blade. So, do you want to come up here?
Next to your skates?
Do you want to bring it up here?
Yeah, you want to try it?
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Bring that up here.
I'm just finding the other seam.
Okay.
Do it one more time.
One more time for Mira and the skate. I'm sure she can do it. Oh, that was close.
Oh my God. Okay. If you get it the first try, you win.
I win a VIP Unlimited. Yay!
Something. You win a nice mug. I'll be
okay. So that was my number 5. So basically, my top 10 with my 5 honorable mention, it becomes a top 15, right? So we have Black Market, Zotomir Merlot. There you go.
That was your honorable mention. All right, Carl Boucher.
All right.
You need to stand up?
No, that's fine. Here.
Which way are you going so I don't
No,
fall there?
I'll go straight here. Okay. So now, okay. Put the skate in.
It's not as easy as it looks.
There you go.
We'll get a different bottle, should I?
Darn it.
You're gonna wreck your skate.
Okay. See? Let's use the blade.
One clean. All right. So clearly the skate requires like more practice.
Holy smokes.
We will have to work on this and get Carl some new skates.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like my guy who's sharpening my skate will be like, what the heck just happened with your skate, Carl? There you go. So that's Saber number 2. This is Field of Dream from Trail Estate in Prince Edward County. We planned for everything here. We have this, so the skate didn't work. So darn it, I missed my price.
Yeah, Daryl's right. We'll have to charge like $2 for that blooper reel. I think, tell me if that's fair.
Ah, okay, now we can focus.
All right, there we go. Honorable mention number 4 of all the wines we tasted in 2025. Da 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 da.
The 2020 Dobbin Estate Riesling White Cap, a $65 wine, 94 points, Carl's Wine Club. This was one of the standout at our Pan Canadian Masterclass this year at Sue and staff. There's also another one from that lineup coming up a little higher up the ladder here. But Dobbin Estate, I mean, on top of how much the wine is so incredible, the layers, it's basically that the layers of flavors in that wine is just so impressive. One of the very, very top quality Riesling in Canada. And to listen Peter Gamble's theory and like his thought process on one, especially when harvesting the grapes for this very specific wine, the 7 different picks that he's done to make that wine an absolute beauty from a great vintage as well. So the 2020 Dobbin White Cap Riesling is my number 13 out of 15. So number 4 on my honorable mention. Congrats to Anne Sperling, Nathan Dobbin, uh,
Peter
the whole
Gamble.
team, Peter Gamble, the whole team at Dobbin
Dave
Estate.
Brennan.
Congrats
Yeah,
for
the winemaker. All right, number 3 in our honorable mentions.
This is a wine that has not been released yet. It won't be released for another 6 to 8 months. And it's the Bottega Cabernet Franc 2023. A little baby wine, only 2 barrel of that made, 100% new oak, fruit from Oliver, made in the Similkameen. Our friend Daniel Botterin, who's I think Mira, the other camera is on the. If you.
No, it's correct. It's hard to see
Oh,
you.
okay. Sorry. Okay.
You're
Okay. Okay.
on
Okay.
Instagram.
So Daniel, the Rosé Master, who makes the iconic tractor and vines, who was voted our top rosé in the last 3 years. Also make a very small batch, depending on the year, depending on what he can get his hand on, of a Bottega. He just sold out of his Bottega Merlot, which was from the 2015 vintage. And now is making his Cabernet Franc 100% from the 2023 vintage. We had a chance to taste it in barrel a year and a half ago. And the first time Mira was with me, the first time we tasted that in barrel, we look at each other, we're like, holy shit.
So good.
This wine will be incredible. When we did our Cap From Marathon, Daniel reached out to me. He said, I don't know how you feel about it, but it's been bottled for a couple months. Should we throw that in the lineup? And just to see how it looks, how it performs, and what's the potential long term. Holy smokes. It was in my top 3. It was my second highest rated. Actually, same score as the 2018 Kern & Co. But that wine will be under, like I will taste that wine at least once every year to see how it goes, but should be released later, let's say after the summer this year. So I can't wait to get that in your hand. Keep an eye on that Bottega Cabernet Franc. Daniel is not even sure how much he's going to charge for it. he's just debating. I put $70 here, just as a ballpark. It should be around that price point. But 94 points, Carl's Wine Club, and this wine will
So
just
good.
go, just gonna improve over the next 15 years. Uh,
Absolutely.
20, my number 12.
Two.
Number
Honorable
two.
mention is the 2024 Stratus Riesling Ice Wine. We have never had an ice wine in our top anything, which is kind of ironic because we've spent 5.5 years now drinking thousands and thousands of Canadian wines. We've drank and tasted very few ice wines, which is what Canada's kind of known for internationally. But this one in particular just completely blew our socks off this last year, didn't it, Carl?
And that was recently. That was one of our last trip in Niagara in November that we had. We were there specifically for the 2007 Stratus White. That's why. And we wanted to catch up with Dean and Suzanne at Stratus. They're an incredible team. We always love to spend time there. And sitting there, and Suzanne just starting, right? She's pouring 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 wines, and we're chatting. She brings some cheeses and charcuterie, and we keep tasting and tasting. And at some point, we're like, okay, we're at 12 wine tasted, and she said, "Oh, do you guys like a little splash of ice wine?" And we're like, of course, that's what we do for a living, right? Why not? So after 12 or 13 wine tasted, she poured that Riesling ice wine, and we both of us, right? We looked at each other, we're like, what? What just happened here? So yeah, and I mean, it's such an incredible wine. I can't wait to see how that wine's going to evolve over the years. But to me, Riesling is the very best grape varietal to make ice wine, the most complex, the bright, the high acidity of Riesling balance the sugar level of ice wine so beautifully. And this one, like I said, like it's the first time we had a few fortified on our list, almost one every year, right? Depending on where. But ice wine never. Holy smokes, that we were impressed. So yeah, so number 11 on the list, number 2 on my 5 honorable mention is 2024 Stratus Riesling Ice Wine, $45, and then also like $45, a really well priced for a Riesling Ice Wine.
Very amazing. Delicious. Number 1 on your honorable mention list is the 2022 Meyer Family Micro Cuvée Chardonnay.
It sure is. And this wine was one of the rock star of our Burgundy Canada showdown that we hosted at Black Bank Hill in August. So this wine could have been in my top 10. But when you look at it, I have so many Chardonnays option, and I want to balance the whole thing. So yeah, if I put it on my top, honorable mention, 94 points, a $70 Okanagan Falls beauty. Okanagan Falls, made in Okanagan Falls. I believe that the fruits is coming from the Naramata Bench, but incredible wine, beautifully layered, nice precision, beautiful purity, and minerality. I mean, wow. We took that wine in Burgundy. Actually, we had 2 of those bottles in France with us. One of those bottles was open at a fondue place in Paris with the cheese fondue, and we tasted that with the staff at the restaurant in Paris. It was a lot of fun, and the people were so impressed with the quality of that wine. So yeah, this is Meyer Family Vineyard from Okanagan Falls, the Micro Cuvée Chardonnay.
Yeah,
94
baby. And
points,
that was
Carl's
something
Wine Club.
you mentioned at the beginning, that you were trying to be fair, not have like 20 Chardonnays. And I think you've done an amazing job at that, to balance this top 10
Well,
plus
yeah,
honorable.
that's the thing, right? I really had to juggle the, and one of the thing is also, I truly believe that Chardonnay is the most prolific grape varietals that we grow in our country. BC, Ontario, anywhere in the country, Chardonnay, to my opinion, is our most prolific grape varietal. So, and I'm a Chardonnay freak. I love Chardonnay in every way, shape, or form. So we tend to taste more Chardonnay than any other grape varietals. True?
Yeah.
So by tasting more Chardonnay, we have more potential high score for Chardonnay. And the disadvantage of it is at the end of the end of the year, when I pull my list together, I'm like, holy shit. I still have a dominant Chardonnay list, but it is what it is. That, and I think that's the proof of why, and it's one of the living proof of Chardonnay is the very best grape varietal that we made in our country.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Should we get right into it? The top 10.
Speaking about that, Mira, speaking about Chardonnay, Mira, you can have a little sip of your white wine in front of you.
The white wine. Okay. I'm dying to pour this 2014 from
Yeah, you can also. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The Haywire, the Bub Grand Cuvée. There's not that many of those 2014s left anywhere. Chardonnay Club doesn't talk Chardonnay Club. Yeah, I mean, Chardonnay is amazing. So what's this still white wine you've got poured for me here, girl?
That's a Chardonnay from the Lincoln Lakeshore appellation. That's Leaning Post Senchuk Vineyard 2021.
So good. So good. That might be premonition for something. All right. Number 10 on your top 10 Canadian wines of 2025. Are we ready for this?
We sure are. The Solvero Pinot Noir from the 2022 vintage, a beauty from Summerland, BC. The fruit from the Garnet Valley, right here, 15 minutes from our house. I'm telling you, Solvero is a growing giant, not in terms of quantity, but in terms of quality. Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, their winemaker, general manager, Alison Moyes, used to run liquidity in Okanagan Falls for years. And when it's time to produce Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, she absolutely knows how to handle those grapes. And this Pinot Noir, we had the chance to feature vintage 2020, 2021, and 2022 in our feature in April. That 2022 was the best of the three. And I believe that with age, also, this Pinot Noir will be one of the finest that BC has to offer. There's producers like Meyer, like Blue Mountain, like De Silva. There's a lot of incredible Pinot producer, but this is one of the finest Pinot that we have in BC. I know that Daryl is a very big fan of the Solvero Pinot, and this one is my number 10 on my top 10 wine of the year. Alison Moyes, congratulations. Well done. That 2022 is absolutely beautiful.
Fantastic. And I'm having the bub in my glass right now, also from Summerland, just same area as that Pinot Noir. It's kind of fun. Number
Super
9.
fun. Absolutely. I'm going 9. For a little bit more Pinot Noir Chardonnay from Nova Scotia here.
Yeah, baby. Kern
so
and
I
Co.
want there you
Foxcroft
go.
Vineyard Cap Franc, number 9 on our top 10 Canadian wines of 2025.
Tiny garagist-like producer. 2018 Kern & Co. It's not a library release. It's his current release. And like Adam Kern says, he releases his wines when his wines are shinest at best, shines the best. And the 2018 is now what's on the market. He makes three different Cabernet Franc. Sorry, the Rapanero Vineyard, the King Street Vineyard, and the beautiful Foxcroft Vineyard. It's not our only wine in our top 10 from the Foxcroft Vineyard. I have to say right away. But this Cabernet Franc was my very top Cab Franc in our Cab Franc marathon out of 65 Cab Franc that we've done in September maybe? And
it was about 55 Cab Francs. Yeah, back in, maybe September.
Maybe September. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, this Cab Franc is so pure, so beautifully made, not dense, not compact, but concentrated, varietal. The varietal typicity is absolutely to the T. And the length, the spice, the balance is so well balanced with everything. And that 2018 has another 5 year to go. And I just thought it was just delightful. And by the time that we tasted it, I knew that was a wine who was going in our top 10. So Kern & Co. from Adam Kern, which now Adam Kern is the new head winemaker at the Niagara Custom Crush Studio. So congrats, Adam Kern, for the new gig. So Adam Kern & Co. wine are going to be bottled at the Custom Crush.
Well, we don't know that, but yes. Number 8 of our top 10 Canadian wines of 2025. Carl Boucher, what is number 8?
This is one of Mira's favorite. This is 2023, the new release of the Bushvine Syrah from Maverick Estate on the Golden Mile in Oliver, Okanagan Valley, made by Andrew Windsor and his team at Maverick. Our wine of BC Members' Choice Award Winery of the Year of 2025 as well. The Bushvines has been one of our very favorite wines since the 2019 vintage. Every year, this is a beautiful expression of that 1.5 acre parcel in Oliver. And 2023 shines with its purity and its approachability as well. So yeah, I love it. I give this one an open score because it was just released. I see this wine going all the way up to 94.5, 94 plus. Right now it's around the 93 because there's a little bit more to be developed in the mid palate. But the nose, the length, the complexity, all of the characteristics are there to make this wine an incredible wine in the future. And yeah, that's it's a rare time that I would put the wine with an open score in the top 10, but this wine was a no-brainer. I love the 23 vintage for its purity. The nose itself, I think it was one of the most expressive, pure, and amazing aromas that I had in years. Like if I had to score the nose only, I think this one would have been 98 points on the nose. Incredible.
Very incredible.
So yeah. So number 8 with Maverick. So let's recap our first 3 wines of our top 10. At number 10, we have Solvero 2022 Pinot Noir. We have at number 9, 2018 Kern & Co. Foxcroft Vineyard Cabernet Franc. And at number 8, the 2023 Maverick Estate, the Bushvine Syrah, a 94 plus points. So here we are
Woohoo!
moving forward. I might start to talk a little bit more technicality in the wine. So yeah, how are you feeling, Mira?
Very good.
How's the bubbly?
Oh my God, it's really good. It's so different than the Nova Scotia. I mean, talk about different terroir. This is West Coast BC, Haywire from Summerland, and we just had Nova Scotia bubbly way the heck on the East Coast. They're so different, but they're both so good. So
Yeah,
good.
I think, and they're similar. They're both Pinot Noir Chardonnay. I think one is 70-30 and the other one is 50-50, but like fairly similar in terms of grape component. But yeah, like you mentioned, right? The that doesn't have the salinity in the A wire, but maybe a little bit more of the crunchiness of the fruit.
Such amazing acidity. And there's this apple that
Yeah,
I mean, it
poached
reminds me of the
apple, right?
Okanagan. It's from the Okanagan. Yeah, sort of a poached apple, poached pear kind of thing. It's so good. They're both so good and so different. I'm going to bring you some up, actually. Tell us about wine number 7
You hold
on
on
our
a
top.
second. Pause it for a second. Pause it for a second. Can you chat for like 1 minute? I will take a bathroom break, have a sip of water, and I'll come right back for the second half of our top 10. How about that?
That sounds great. Guess what? I'm going to start sharing some of our favorite moments of 2025 while you're gone. So
Perfect. I'll be right.
there you go. 2025 started out pretty I don't know how about you guys feel about 2025, but it feels like it was like 10 years in one. It was a big year. And so let me share how it all started for us. 2025 started actually with us getting called in to the Free the Grapes conference, which is a conference that about 500-600 wineries in the States do every year. And they get together and they talk about what would it take to free the grapes. Something I really think we need in Canada too, with all these interprovincial trade barriers, and to make it like easy for grapes made in Canada to be consumed all over Canada. It's kind of crazy that if you live in Ontario, you almost never get to taste BC wine. If you live in BC, you never get to taste Nova Scotia wine or Ontario wine. And these wines are so world class now. And the only way to really get it is directly through the winery, which is a blessing. But it would be so great if it would be more widely available. So we got called in as speakers at that conference. So there we are in Monterey. Totally different world. They're all talking about influencers. We did a live stream right from Monterey. And it was a heck of a lot of fun tasting Canadian wines side by side, some of these American wines. This was right before the whole trade crisis hit. And you know what? I'm really glad we were there because it just, they're like people just like us and they make amazing wines. And it was just fabulous. So that was the start of our year. We also took Canadian wines down to the One Drop Foundation event, which is one of the biggest sort of wine auction type events in the world for charity. And we poured Canadian wines side by side, some of the world's most expensive wines, and people loved them. And then you should have seen their jaws drop to the floor when we were like, oh yeah, in Canada, this wine's like $50. This wine's like $100. People were like, what? Could not believe it. Which brings me to my next point, and then we'll get back to the countdown, which is that we do not get paid to go to these events and do these things. We just did it because we wanted to show what our wines are like next to the world's greatest. So like here's Opus 1 at what, 500 US a bottle.
Yep,
Drinking
650. 650.
Yeah, side by side De Silva and Dobbin, and people at this wine auction in Las Vegas saying that Canadian one was actually my favorite. And
yeah,
then
that was incredible.
Like, it's maybe a sixth of the price. So yeah, pretty cool.
Absolutely fantastic.
And Elaine, good point. Most, I'd say 98% of wineries do ship across Canada. And with Carl's Wine Club, what we try and do is spotlight for you incredible producers, give you a chance to meet the winemakers on Wine Wednesday. We have a new thing this year, Tasting Thursday, once a month. We will actually do a Zoom with an amazing winemaker and taste his wines or her wines and get to ask questions live, which is a lot of fun. So, yeah, it's free to join. Hope you join us if you haven't already. I've been ordering from Black Hills, Quailsgate, Lightning Rock for the last 6 years or more. Absolutely. And for the last 5.5 years of Carl's Wine Club, we have hooked up thousands and thousands of Canadian wine lovers to hundreds of Canadian wines. And it's been fabulous. And that's our job. So we taste the most Canadian wines on the planet, and we help you with knowing where to look. So that's
Exactly.
what this
And not only where to look, and which wine in each portfolio are the standout, right? So,
That's right.
yeah, by digging deep into their portfolio, not taking just only the new releases, like it's really to highlight the depth of their portfolio, the member exclusive as well, that we try to sneak a few cases here and there. So yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do.
That's what we do. So before Carl took a bathroom break, we did number 10, Solvero Pinot Noir 2022 from Summerland, BC. Number 9, 2018 Kern & Co. Foxcroft Vineyard Cab Franc. Fabulous. Number 8, 2023 Maverick Bushvine Syrah. And are you guys ready? This is number 7.
From the 2021 vintage, Ferox Reserve the Second Chardonnay. This is from the not the 20 Mile Bench, but the Lakeshore, the Niagara Lakeshore appellation. Ferox is especially this reserve Chardonnay is coming with us in Burgundy to taste alongside some of the French incredible Chardonnay. So 94 plus points, Carl's Wine Club. Yeah. We tasted that wine blind live at the end of the summer. It was a lot of fun. But when we talk about bright, flinty, crisp, pure, energetic, there's a tension in that Chardonnay that definitely highlights some of the purest expression of Chardonnay in Canada, and this is one of them. One of my very top of the year. There's two other Chardonnay at that level or a little higher, but Fabian Rice and Cubby Sadoun, what a great job that you guys have done with the 2021 reserve. This is the reserve 2. It's because it's the second batch of bottling that they've done with that. They saved couple barrels. So they bottled the first batch, they left the other batch in barrel, and bottled the second batch now. So yeah.
There you go. Great. Daryl, are you talking about the countdown? Number 9 is missing. Number 9 was the Kern & Co. I get why it's missing, because Daryl's not a big fan of the Cab Franc. I get it. All right. Next up, number 6. Number 6. Are you ready for this? Leaning Close 2021 Senchuk Vineyard Chardonnay, which I believe we have in our glass. Is that right, Carl Boucher?
Right here, right here.
Cheers, you guys.
So funny enough, I was about to open a Dauben Riesling for tonight's show, and while putting my notes together, I realized that I didn't have complete tasting notes on the 2021 Leaning Post Senchuk Vineyard. We went to the cellar, and I think, whoa, we have one bottle left. So I switched the Dauben for the Senchuk Chardonnay so I can complete the full notes on our Shopify store later tonight. But number 6, it is our 94 plus points Senchuk Vineyard Chardonnay, which was a highlight of our Pan-Canadian Masterclass. We had 3 Chardonnays pour at Siouan staff under the tent in June, And obviously, like usual, Leaning Post Senchuk is always a showstopper. Always. There's something unique and very special from that Lincoln Lake Shore single vineyard at the wine, just next to the winery, and a beautiful, beautiful wine. They were this year Carl's Wine Club Members' Choice Award of Ontario Winery of the Year. We had a beautiful party there in August as well, with barbecue, with the walk in the Senchuk Vineyard, tasting of multiple different wines. We went to taste in the barrel as well with Ilya and Nadia. We even sang. We had a song like "We Love Chardonnay."
You bet. Nadia lit us in that. She's fabulous.
She is fabulous, and what a great wine. So this is a 94 plus point, rich, uh, creamy, expressive, lots of beautiful vanilla, custard, Meyer lemon, peach. Yeah, these wines. I mean, I think Daryl just put a comment like they can't do any wrong. I agree. I mean, first time that I really fell in love with Leaning Pose, it was from the Lincoln Lake, from the Grimsby Hillside Vineyard, and Elias said, "Yep, this is a great vineyard, 800 meters from our own. Come, I want you to taste our Senchuk vineyard." And from there, I was completely sold. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful wine. 2021 was not the easiest vintage to work with. And every time Elia makes absolute miracle with everything he touches. This is one of the top Chardonnay of the year from 2021. Yeah, really, really love what we have here.
Woo!
Oh,
Fabulous.
beautiful nose.
What?
I give it 94
5.
plus. Rick Van Vensicle give it 94. David Lawson at the Wine Line give it a 94 too. So every year, some of the top national reviewers or local reviewer in Niagara gave the Senchuk Vineyard from Leaning Post some of the highest score. So yeah, that's number 6 on our top 10 wine of the year. I think for Leaning Post, it's last year they were our very top wine of the year with the Clone 548. And just for a little bit of a complimentary explanation, 548, it's usually half of the component of the Senchuk Vineyard, because they have another clone, and it's usually they do it half and half or whatever they have. So in 2020 they did a single bottling of 548, but this is a blend of their 548 and the other clone that they have on their vineyard.
Fabulous. Are we ready for number 5?
Just one second. I'm just gonna have a little sip.
We're getting into the thick of it here. Number 5 on our top 10 Canadian wines of 2025 is the 2022 Tightrope Equipoise from the Naramata Bench in BC. 94 plus points. Carl Boucher. Tell us more about this wine, Carl.
40% Syrah, 40% Cap Franc, 20% Merlot. This is just amazing just to see the complementarity of Cap Franc and Syrah together. Very unexpected blend, but holy smokes that everything fits so well together. Texture, blend of dark fruit, bright acid, long finish, the little meaty component on the mid palate. I mean, this is like this 50% new oak. I know that Lindsay O'Rourke really like to do a little like 50% new oak on their big blend. This wine will age gracefully for many years, but like right out of the gate, this wine was so expressive. First time we tasted it in our red blend marathon last year, and the wine was great. it was rated in the top 10, and we tasted it again earlier this summer, and I was like, holy shit. And I wrote on the on the bottle right at that moment, top 10 wine this year. And here we are. That's what we have in our glass. That's the red pour we have here, Mira. That's our
So good.
equivalent espresso coffee, oak spice, balance between boldness and purity. I got everything.
Absolutely. I love it. Oh, we're so spoiled.
Wonderful. Oh, I love the tannin of that wine too. This is number 5. Now we're going into.
We're going over to Prince Edward County, aren't we?
We sure do. We sure do. We sure do. With Claus and Chase 2023.
2023. Oh, there's a typo there. Okay.
Yeah.
Fix it. 2023 Claus and Chase South Clos Pinot Noir.
There you go. This is an unreleased wine. This is a wine that our Tasting Thursday crew had the privilege to order in in supreme exclusivity. That was a on the moment call from the winemaker Keith Dyer, but he sent me a bottle earlier this year. When I tasted that, I was like, holy smokes. I don't give 95 points to a whole lot of wines. Over 2,000 wine tasted. There is 4 wines over 95 points tasted this year. So I don't know. You do the math. Tell me how much it is, but what's the percentage? But 4 wines out of 2,000 is a very, very small proportion. And this Claus and Chase at a baby stage absolutely blew my mind. I mean, vanilla, mocha, flower, bright red, ripe red fruit, nice sweet. That South Clos vineyard provide richness as much for the Pinot Noir that he does for Chardonnay. There's a salinity as well that you find in the Pinot Noir, in the Chardonnay. I'm usually a big fan of the South Clos Chard, but that South Clos Pinot Noir was my highlight of the Thursday tasting crew that we had in December. And wow, what a wine! What a wine it is!
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are we ready for the top 3?
We sure are. Number 3. Bum, 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 bum. From our advent calendar, the Pan-Canadian advent calendar that we just finished a week ago. That was our wine number 7. This is the 2015 Fairview Cellar Iconoclast Cabernet Sauvignon, 95 points, Carl's Wine Club. This is from Oliver, BC. And I mean, that when I said I tried to stay from 5-year to release, I'm not lying, because this wine is just getting released. So this is technically a new release. While people are releasing now their 2023, this is a 2015 that Daniel Hutton is releasing from the Fairview Cellar, one of the OG producer of the Okanagan, one of the I would say a winery that put on the map big, bold, rich South Okanagan, BC red grape like Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Cab Franc and Meritage. So this Iconoclast was so sublime. It's 85%, 75% new oak. back in 2015. So now the oak is integrated, but the wine is rich, the wine is powerful, the wine is muscular. It's a 15% alcohol type of wine. It's a super premium. When we talk about $120 wine, I agree this is not cheap. But when you look on the international stage, this is not expensive. The value of that wine is incredible when you look at what's happening, what's coming out of Napa Valley. Uh, like the Beckstoffer wines. Like Beckstoffer is one of the top vineyard holding in Napa Valley. Everything Beckstoffer always costs $350 US or more, but they produce these type of big, rich, powerful Cabernet Sauvignon. Something that people still to this day say Canada is not capable of producing these type of wine, but that's bullshit because we have it right in there in that 2015 iconoclast, and 15 was the textbook perfect vintage for big bull rich capsule. And Bill Haggard, which is one of the OG of the Okanagan, absolutely delivered an incredible product, which make $120 wine a great value, to my opinion. Mira, I mean, you tasted that wine. We were together at the winery when we had our first sip. We had it on video. You have my hand writing down the numbers from the first sip.
95 points. You were pretty thrilled. You can tell when Carl likes a wine, he has like an instant visceral, like, wow, he gets so excited. So yeah, it was, and you guys saw that on video. I captured it. I try to with these things. Definitely worth its price point. Definitely amazing. If you can get your hands on it in the next few years, you get to see what Canadian Cab Sauv can do in the cellar, and it's spectacular. Number 2, Carl Boucher. Number 2 on our top 10 wines in Canada in 2025 out of the 2,000 plus that we tasted. Are you ready for this?
I sure am. So a top 10 list will not be complete without a Thomas Batchelder wine. And definitely, this is the second wine from the Foxcroft Vineyard. So it's the 2023 Batchelder Wismer Foxcroft Parcelle Nord Chardonnay, 96 points. I mean, I have a very special affinity with Foxcroft Chardonnay Parcelle Nord from Thomas Batchelder every year. But back into with the 2019 vintage, when Thomas and I already connected and Thomas was releasing his 2020 vintage, and I called him and I said, Thomas, is it just me? But I much prefer 2019 vintage than 2020, and 2020 has such an incredible reputation when everything was getting released. And Thomas said to me later on, he said, that's when I started trusting you because you knew that 19 was the Chardonnay vintage. So my point was, when I tasted with Thomas 2019 Foxcroft Parcelle Nord, I give it a 96 points. So it's the second vintage that I give Parcelle Nord 96 points. It's the second time that wine makes it to our top 5 wine of the year. Um, like Mira tried to, we blind tasted me with I think 7 Chardonnays from Thomas, and I picked that one on the nose. I knew out of the 7 that was Foxcroft Parcelle Nord because his nose is so pure. I mean, this is a wine of purity, intensity, salinity, seashell. I mean, this is just Chardonnay at its very best. This is the most beautiful expression of Chardonnay in Canada. And like I said earlier, I believe that Chardonnay is the most prolific grape that we make, that we grow here. And this one, year in and year out, is my very favorite. Now, there's also Wismer Wingfield or Hill of Wingfield, that when you look at other critics, like wine, the guys at Wine Line, John Zabo, David Lawson, and there's a few other. Usually, Hill of Wingfield is their top wine. Sorry, to me, I lean towards Tarsenal. I think it was Tony Aspler when I was looking at Tony's rating for the whole 2023. Tony was leaning towards Tarsenal as well, just like me. There's a few reviewers who go Tarsenal. There's a few goes Hill of Wingfield. There's a little difference of style. Hill of Wingfield is richer and bolder, and Tarsenal has more purity, more precision. And I couldn't put Hill of Wingfield. Hill of Wingfield was rated. I rated it 95 points, but I already had a 96 points. So that's what I would try to explain earlier. That I always put only one wine per winemaker. And yeah, so that's why Hill of Wingfield is not on my top 10. But Hill of Wingfield was featured at the Burgundy Showdown, Burgundy Canada Showdown earlier this year, and it was alongside a Merceau. So yeah.
So exciting. Are you ready for the number one wine of 2025 out of the 2,000 plus Canadian wines that we've tasted? You ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Just one second.
Now drink some water. You want me to bring you some water?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Fine, you're fine. All right, you ready for this? You got it there?
I got it there.
That it's New Year's Eve. Our top wine tasted in 2025 out of 2,000 plus Canadian wines tasted was the 2008 Benjamin Bridge Brut Reserve Traditional Method from Nova Scotia. 97 points, Carl Boucher. Tell us about this wine, Carl.
I mean, you know it when from the first sip, like, first and foremost, I tasted that wine by mistake. Okay.
We thought we were getting the 2018 out. And we got the 2008 out. Just a little thing with the vision, you know, like maybe I need glasses. I don't know.
But the thing was, I poured it, I tasted it, and I had it in my mouth. And there was so much going on. There was an incredible mouthfeel, an incredible acidity. The bubbles were so soft. There was everything. By the time that I spit it, I was like, holy shit. And I grabbed the bottle and just to make sure, and I swear I saw 2008, and I'm like, huh, now that makes so much sense. And at that moment, I think we have it on camera. That's when I said, this is the wine of the year. I don't think, and it was in June, I don't think I'm going to taste something superior to that all year. It was just so incredibly above and beyond anything that I've tasted before. 97 point is one other wine that I tasted before, and it was a wine that didn't age very well, but the 2017 Pearl Morissette Cuvée 19e, unfortunately, but this is the second wine that I rated 97 points, and holy smokes. So for this one, I would like to read you my tasting notes that I put together. And it goes like that. Without the shadow of a doubt, this is my highest rated top wine tasted in 2025. I very rarely come across a wine at this level. I would say it's in my top 5 Canadian wines I've tasted ever. And you know what? This was from August. That I support the first 3 sentence. I think this is in my top 3 Canadian wine ever tasted. Incredible. Now I follow suite by La Grande Dame of Veuve Clicquot, Cristal Roderer, um, Cru Claude Duminil. They all come to mind as top champagne. This wine can go side by side with these wines.
Wow.
That
Wow.
is, I am so confident, and I know that we have members who are collecting champagne. I can't wait for these people to follow up with me and let me know if I was completely out for lunch. So, the nose is expressive and complex, suggesting lemon curd, guava, white peach, chamomile, and the classic fresh baked croissant. The palate is creamy, but also precise and tense, smooth, but nervy, energetic, and soft. These are all sometimes paradox that you got all of that together, which means like this wine has everything, right? The acid's still there. The softness is incredible. So every sip evolves from lemon to orchard to red fruit. There's even red fruit. There's spice. There's a lots of salinity. Keep in mind, this wine has come from right on the edge of the Big Fundy, where the Atlantic Ocean and the highest tide in the world are coming from. So there's that ocean spray salinity in that wine that's incredible too. Um, there is incredible length, multiple layers, and the mousse is one of the most opulent and decadent that I've ever tasted on a Canadian wine. I spent 5 years. Uh, it spent 5 years before release, while it was once austere. It has now arrived and showcase what you can expect from the best of traditional method bubbly, Canadian or not. Truly a masterpiece and testament to the greatness we can achieve here in our country.
Fabulous.
So, and I was talking with Jean-Benoit Delaurier, the winemaker who made that wine under the supervision of Peter Gamble. Okay, so Jean-Benoit says that 2018 was a very, very austere vintage. It took years for that wine to soften up. Years. But they knew, Peter always told Jean Benoit, keep that in the cave. Keep riddle that wine. Keep turning it. One day you guys are going to be rewarded. And I mean, this is one of the finest, this is the finest bubbly that I've ever tasted from Canada. And wow, and it was an incredible mistake that day of August sitting on our patio. And I remember that day I was tasting Benjamin Bridge alongside the winery from Vancouver Island.
Blue Grouse.
I can't remember, but
Are we still there?
everything froze.
Did I freeze Carl? Okay, well, he did what he needed to do. He shared his top 10. I guess now, if you can hear me, but you can't hear Carl, he'll have to come downstairs. I don't know. But there you have it, you guys. Top 10 wines tasted in 2025 out of 2,000 plus wines. Please tag in the comments your favorite Canadian wines. And let us know so we can find those. Carl, did you get cut off right at the end? It was like, you know what? He did his part, so now he doesn't need to be on anymore, right?
I
sure did. Here he is.
I sure
He's
did.
frozen with excitement. What's Mira's top 10? You know, we collaborated. I mean, colluded. A lot of these are Mira's as well. There you go. Well, hey guys, since you've stayed this long, I'm going to give you a few minutes of like a visual smorgasbord of amazing, amazing wine moments from the last year. It was our 5th year as a club, you guys. And by the way, if you haven't left a comment, do leave one now. I have the wheel of names ready to draw a VIP unlimited membership. So if you already have a VIP membership, you get a year added on at no cost, $225 value. And what does that get you? And if you don't have one, you'll get one. It gets you free shipping on any winery that we feature, 6+ bottles. It gets you curated wines that you can just request. You can be like, I want this wine and this wine and this wine. And Carl will go like your personal sommelier and help you get those wines. You get discounts on our events. And so if you plan on coming to a club event the next year, or if you plan on ordering some wine in the next year, usually it more than pays for yourself to get a VIP Unlimited membership. But on top of that, you get access to the archive of tasting notes, well over 1,200 now, with all his scores, all his notes, detailed info on each wine. So super useful when you start cellaring Canadian wine. So we'll do that draw in just a second.
Hey, I want to know I don't know if you asked, but from the top 10 that we just wrote, the top 15, is there any of your favorite in there? Is there any wine that you would say, yep, this one is my very favorite? I would like to know. Please put it in the comments. I'm very curious to have your opinion.
Absolutely. And go ahead and tag those wineries if you're at it anyway, so they know they've been mentioned. And
YouTube.
If you tasted other wines that were not in our top 10, we want to know also, because if this was one of your top 10s, we should investigate, right?
That's true.
Difficult job is to go and investigate these things and find out and let the rest know about the amazing Canadian wines being made. So Karen told us about a Gruner Veltliner from Winemaker's Cut that she thought was spectacular.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. And Karen Hall is on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Stacy and Jeff. Tracy says Thomas's for sure is one of her top 10s. That's awesome. So great. Keep it coming. Let's do the draw in a few minutes, but let's share out of 5 years of Canadian wine adventures, some of the amazing things that happened in 2025. So we'll get right back to Carl in Las Vegas, talking about pouring Canadian wines side by side, international wines at quadruple 10 times the price, and people being super impressed.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my very top moments. I just wish you were there to bottle that with me. Bottle, ha. Do you get it? So yeah, no, it was absolutely fantastic to see the reaction of our American friends, American wine lovers, and people are saying like, "Oh, is this Opus One?" No, it was the other glass. So yeah. So that was pretty awesome.
We had some pretty epic tastings ourselves in 2025. We got a big shout out to Karen and Jan for the Synchromesh Riesling tasting, going back quite a number of years. This was our Washington State made in BC, crafted in BC tasting. Because as you guys know, 2024, there was almost no wine from BC because of a deep freeze. Winemakers had to source their grapes elsewhere, but they still made wine in BC, kept their staff, and that was a good story. So we tasted about 50, 60 of those
60
wines.
To 70, yeah.
And it's always fabulous if you can stop by when we're doing that behind the scenes. So you can see some rare varietals coming up. Lots of wines, and that's all on our blog. Another highlight for us was visiting Blue Grouse on Vancouver Island. We haven't done a ton of exploring on Vancouver Island. We featured Blue Grouse in the club. You guys all loved finding out more about this up-and-coming region.
This is fantastic. But the stay at the vineyard was something very special. Their guest house is absolutely world class. We had an incredible 2 to 3 days there. It was fantastic.
Members stopped by, and you guys were able to win a stay at the guest house. And I know that that a couple members from Vancouver were able to go out to that guest house for free. They won the golden ticket, so that was pretty fun. Then more great things in the Okanagan. We do not regret moving to the Okanagan. Check out this paella being served by the lake. It's pretty cool. Then we're headed out to the Pan-Canadian Masterclass 3.0, the third one.
Yep. So that was we have members traveling all over the country to meet with us in Niagara. So we had a great time. Like we did the Pan-Canadian. We also had that week like so many different events on a daily basis, meeting with new members, older members, and that was like every year. The Pan-Canadian Masterclass is such a blast. But this year we released the Carl's Wine Club 5-year edition in the vineyard.
Wine.
Yes, in the vineyard with Brian Schmidt at Vineland Estate, and that release was very, very special.
We actually tasted, if we go back here, that very Cab Franc next to the two vineyards. So each of these boutique Cab Francs here is
the two clones. So
two sides of the same vineyard. And the Carl's Wine Club wine is a blend of the two. It's pretty spectacular. So I hopefully Daryl will forgive us that our club wine was a Cab Franc. Maybe the next club wine needs to be a Pinot Noir, to balance it out. But amazing experiences of bringing together the Canadian wine community from coast to coast. Like we literally had people from all over Canada with us, winemakers, wine lovers, and tasting wines all over the place. Spectacular. There we are at Vineland. There we are at Good Earth, right? That was
at Good Earth. What an incredible time. Delia Sanchuk was the winemaker for Good Earth, but the food was spectacular. Their wines were surprising as well. And the chef was outstanding. Here is some members from Ottawa.
Stacy and Jeff. So lots of fun. You can see you guys in these pictures. It's pretty cool. That was at Leaning Post, our winery of the year. Our winery of the year last year was Leaning Post for Ontario and Maverick Estate for BC. And I got to say, we're going to be voting for our 2025 winery of the year. So any and all suggestions, welcome. We're going to shortlist 3 from BC, 3 from Ontario. Yes, Daryl, the Good Earth Merlot was also a highlight, and it was pretty funny because I think we were tasting like a back vintage or something, we were tasting a pre-release, and it had right on the bottle, do not sell, or something like that. Suddenly, everyone's going to the wine bar saying, "Can we get this to go right now? A case?"
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome. That's beautiful Ontario wine country for you. Yes.
We're now developing the ability to ask different questions.
There you go. So that was the Pan-Canadian Masterclass, the biggest and best we've done so far. We are taking a little bit of a hiatus this June for the Pan-Canadian Masterclass to reimagine it. And we're also going with members and winemakers to Burgundy. Some of you in the chat are going to be there. And I have to say, it is pretty much sold out. We have 2 spots left. One more couple. That's you. Give us a call because 2 couples just signed up in the last couple of weeks. So we're pretty much full for that Burgundy trip. It's going to be amazing.
Burgundy trip number 1, because there's much more to come.
It's going to be awesome. So that was the Pan-Canadian.
And the Pan-Canadian, I like the presentation. The Peter Gamble's presentation at the Pan-Canadian was absolutely epic. Absolutely epic.
Amazing people and amazing wines.
Well, when you get like Peter Gamble, Anne Sperling, Brian Schmidt, Melissa Mouchadre, Rob Amersley, Richard De Silva, Keith Dyer, Fabian Rice,
Marcel Morgenstern there.
As our co-host.
Wow. Look at that. Dean
Stoica. Oh, what a lineup of winemaker we had. That was absolutely fantastic.
We did some more wine touring. So those of you who are newer members and you were like, oh, what are these wine experiences all about? They're a polished up version of what you've seen us do touring around at the Pan Canadian and that sort of thing. We're going to do 4 sort of signature experiences in the Okanagan this summer. So if you're coming to the Okanagan, see if you can join us on one of those small group, super cool backstage pass kind of experiences. Aw, dang. Yeah, Elaine. But I mean, it's coming back. The Pan Canadian is coming back. It's just we want to grow it even more beyond even Carl's Wine Club. So
that was our day at Taw's. It was like 150 degrees out there. We thought we were freaking dying.
But the cellar was nice and cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And there we were at Malivoire.
That was the very last stop of the Pan Canadian after 4 days of incredible tasting.
And here we are back at Black Market Wine Co. in the Okanagan.
That was the concert in a vineyard.
Yeah, some beautiful things we get to do here by the lake. This was, I think, my birthday party.
Yep,
which members came to, and I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much. That's Chef Derek Fraser, who used to work with Elma here in town and Row 13 and the Similkameen. He's collaborating with us on events, and hopefully you get to experience his cooking one day. So good. Lobsters, so much fun. And more of that beautiful stuff. This was you tasting one of the top wines of the year.
That was the night that was the afternoon that we tasted the 2023 Riesling alongside the 2016 Elevation Riesling. And
right at Vineland.
And Brian Schmidt took us to the Mission Vineyard after for a little stroll. And
that is our son. Fun story. Brian Schmidt grew up in Summerland, where we are, in the Okanagan, but also in Summerland here where we are. Our son just won the Summerland Garden Contest.
That was a couple weeks before the trip when he won.
And here they are chatting viticulture. A little budding viticulturist there, maybe.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we had the Winery of the Year celebration at Leaning Post. With touring, and this was the crazy tasting that Carl did 4 or 5 hours with Thomas Batchelder right before.
Yeah, that was one of my highlights of the year. Definitely having Thomas just for me for 5 hours.
And this was what we mentioned earlier. Many of you guys were at this as well. The Canada vis-a-vis Burgundy tasting, where once and for all we tasted Meursault, we tasted Thomas Batchelder, we tasted Burgundy, we tasted Canada, and Canada is absolutely world class, isn't it?
Oh yeah. That was an amazing event, and Taylor Emerson and his team at Blank Bank Hill did a fantastic job. Mira did an incredible job sourcing some Burgundy cheese even before we got to Burgundy. And yeah, Thomas was our co-host that day, and what a great experience.
There's the cheese. Oh my gosh. Applause, you guys. It's so good. Such stinky cheese. So yeah, there you have it. More tastings. We did a whole Meyer Pinot Noir vertical. Thanks to Jan and Karen again. And Winery of the Year, Maverick for BC. We had a great tasting at their winery there and behind the scenes tour. In fact, one of your top 10 wines was the Maverick Bushvine Syrah.
Yep, absolutely.
And that is the Bushvine Syrah, I believe, at Maverick.
Yep.
So it looks very different than most vines, but sure comes out with a great tasting Syrah.
No, that was the sandwich at the garden, Linden Garden that day.
These guys are the best. Jeanette, Danny. We went to Black Market. We did kind of a reunion tour because these are all wineries that were voted #1 winery in BC by members.
We did
fire, so we lost all of
Maverick was the current one, and we went to Black Market and the Silva, which was the previous one. Had a great time that day.
There we go. There was the Silva. So that could have been our year, but there's more. We went to Burgundy. Why did we go to Burgundy, Carl?
Because we have to scout. We had to go check out which hotel we wanted for Paris, which chateau we wanted, which winery in Vosny-Romanée we wanted to go, which chateau in Meursault we wanted to taste, which restaurant. We had to check the bone market. There's so many things we wanted to check out before taking we had to have the TGV train ride, which thanks God we did, because we took the wrong entrance and we missed our our first class ticket. And I wanted to see for the very first time the DRC vineyard, Domaine de la Romanée-Conti. And one of my highlight of the year is to chatting with my friend Keith Dyer while tasting his Clausen Chase Pinot Noir at the wall, chatting with him back in Prince Edward County. So it was a lot of fun.
So much fun.
Yep,
Tracy wants to taste the Bushvine Syrah, and I have to say it's a good time to taste it because with the vine death that happened, that Syrah is going to be gone for a couple more years. But we have our hands on the pre-release of 23 and a back vintage of 2020 right now, this week. Romanée-Conti, another big highlight of 2025 for us because we brought Canadian wines to the most famous vineyard in the world in Burgundy.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And we had to check how it looks versus the Photoshop picture that we had.
Photoshopped ourselves with a bunch of Canadian wines on the Romanée-Conti wall there, and then this is the real version.
This is the real version. That's one of our honorable mention, the micro cuvée from Meyer, and this is a back vintage of the South Clos. That was a 2020 that I had from home that we brought. So what an incredible day!
Clausen Chase. Yeah. So there you go. That was Burgundy. Now we're back here in Summerland, and we just did another big highlight for the club and for us this last year, which was the Advent calendar. We went live every night for 12 days before Christmas, interviewing a different Canadian winemaker and opening and tasting a different Canadian wine. Many of you guys got the same wines to open and taste with us, so it was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. We got to do that again.
We sure do. So that was our year in review.
And now, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to have to share it again. I have our Wheel of Names drawing for a VIP Unlimited membership, which talked about before. It's a $225 value. You get free shipping on any of the wines we feature for 6 or more bottles. You get discounts on our club events and the epic tours that we do and experiences that we do, virtual and in person. And you get access to the tasting notes archive, as well as a bunch of other perks. So it is something that we are going to draw for in just a second. Rides with Gavin, I'll add you to the draw. We're just doing the door prize draw. Derek, I'm adding you to the draw. It's so nice to see you from back in our COVID days, Derek. And Rides with Gavin. Okay, I think I've added everyone that's commented. Thank you so much for being part of this celebration, you guys. Here is our draw. And stop and add. And after that, I hope you guys have a fabulous New Year's Eve. You got to tell us what wines you crack open and what you end up doing.
Send some picture, Carl's Wine Club VIP, comment on our YouTube channel or on our Instagram. We're always happy to hear from you and always happy to see what's in your glass. I love to see that.
Absolutely. Give us all your things that need investigating and we will go investigate. We will go taste those wines and share them with the world. Here we go. Draw prize for a VIP Unlimited membership at Carl's Wine Club, valued at $225.
There you go, you guys. Jared and Lisa.
Congratulations, Jared. Woohoo. There we go. I will email you guys about that a little after, and I'm sure you will have fun with that. Congrats, and thanks so much for supporting world-class Canadian wines, you guys.
This is our 5th edition of Top 10 Wine of the Year. So this is our year in review. We are so thrilled. And now we have a bottle of Benjamin Bridge, a bottle of Grand Reserve Bubbly. We also have a bottle of Equipoise, Saint-Chuck Chardonnay. So we are well equipped to have a lot of fun tonight. So I hope you guys have some great juice open, some great Canadian wines. And yeah, if you have any of your highlights that you want to share with the group, you go ahead. And yeah.
Amazing. Thanks, guys. Now I'm going to bed. It's 8 o'clock here, almost in Summerland, BC. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
Hope you guys
I'm up for that.
Hope you guys have a fabulous, fabulous New Year's.
And we'll see you next year.
See you next year.
Canadian wine lovers, Carl's Wine Club members, everyone across the country. Again, thank you and happy New Year.
Woo!